this practical Carveco Maker tutorial. When I say practical, we're actually going to end up doing a real job. Now, a friend has brought over these beautiful planks of furniture grade blackwood, and he wants me to make quite a tall coffee table out of it. And what I need Carveco for is to plane the surfaces and the edges. When you get this sort of material from the wood stockists, they normally have it planed on one side only. Then it's up to you then to have it planed down to size. So that's what we're going to do with Carveco with our CNC router. This thicker board is 45 millimeters and this thinner board is 25 millimeters. But I only just want to take enough off to, sort of make it nice and smooth. So I only want to take down possibly a millimeter at a time, which is a 25th of an inch. And what I'm going to be using, well, to do the surface machining, I'm going to use this 2-inch cutter. Okay, that'll actually make quite short work of it. And to do the sides, I have this extended 1/2-inch cutter. Now, each plank is just a shade over 1.3 meters, which is 4 foot 3.5. Now, my CNC router, I actually designed and built it that if I wanted to put a door on here and machine it, whether it be carving or whether it be surfacing, I could do it. But I'd have to do it in 2 halves. But the problem I have is I want the complete surface machined off. And with that material, I'm only going to be left with about an inch either side to actually clamp it down with. If I did it, sort of end to end. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to cut it in half first, and then put it on here long ways, which I can do because between this clamping area and that clamping area, I have 700 millimeters, or what's that? 2 foot 3.5 inches that I can get in between these clamping areas, and still manage to machine the whole surface and the sides, was just leaving then the inch on the end unmachined. And the reason I want the edges planed off as well is because I'm going to joint them together. I will use the jog in Mach 3 to actually plane the sides. So here we are with the opening screen of Carveco Maker. So we're going to start a new project. Now, the material size, when I cut those planks in half, they're going to be 652.5 millimeters in length each. So I'm going to make my area that I want machined 600 in the X, because it's going to be across the machine. And let me see now, because I want to machine the whole area, and I don't want to be left with a, you know, sort of an unmachined area, because I've got a radius on the cutter, and this is 305 millimeters in actual width. I'm going to make sure that I sort of cover the whole area and make this figure 350 millimeter, because I have a 2-inch or 50 millimeter diameter tool, facing tool, so I know that the tool is going to go past the end of the material here and come down, and I'm going to not be left with a corner here unmachined. Now, with this type of machining, because I've only going to have an inch on this end, or 25 millimeters, and 25 millimeters on this end to actually clamp by, so I'm going to be using just a little bit over half of that, because I do want some area of clearance. I'm going to make my G54. Now, G54 is just a tag name given in G code of the start of the program. I'm going to make that the middle of the material, because it's very easy to mark from, you know, corner to corner, put a cross there in the middle, and get a fairly pointy tool and actually find the middle of the material, no matter what sort of, you know, sort of, if this is slightly out of square, it's quite easy to find the middle. And I do like to start in the middle and work my way out. I find that I get the best result that way. So we're going to OK that. And here we are with our material. Okay, it's opened up in the 3D. I'm going to change to the 2D because it gives me a better screen to work by. I've got measurements here as well, which is fine. Okay, so this is really an easy process. So I'm going to first of all take a rectangle drawing tool. I'm going to come right out here on the edge of the material, and you see it's made a little target out of the cross hairs there. You see it changes to a little target. That is Carveco Maker actually informing me that okay, it understands, it wants that I want it to start a rectangle at that corner, and see it does the same here. It actually snaps to the corner. So I release. I held down the left key. Let me see, center. I don't want radius corners, I want nice square corners, hence going over the material. Okay, so it is actually recognized that this 0, 0 here for the X and Y is indicating to me that okay, well, that's the start of the material, the start of the job, or the G54. You really don't have to worry about G this or G that, because it doesn't matter, because Carveco Maker takes care of all that for you. All you need to know is a little bit of geometry saying, okay, well, I want to start the job in the middle or one corner or the other, and draw a rectangle. Really, that's the CAD work done. So now we move on to the CAM work. Well, we better say create first. And notice it changes to a purpley colour. That's Carveco recognizing, okay, it's done. And we're going to leave it selected. If I come off here and notice I came off the material and I clicked left, and this has now gone black. So that's deselected. So to reselect that, I just hover over the line or the rectangle we just draw and left click, and it's reselected again. Okay, so now we're going to go to a tool path. Now we want an area clearance. Now you can either go here to pick a tool path up, or you can come over here and pick a tool path up, or indeed you can pick a tool path up from here. But we'll take one of these. This is an area clearance, which is exactly what we want. We want to clear this area or machine this area. So we will select that, which it brings up a dialog box or a conversational or a wizard. There's 3 names for it. So we want to machine the selected vector, which is this. We have selected the vector. Start depth 0. So when we bring the tool over the material and just come down and touch the material, that is our 0 position in the Z axis. Now that's what this is asking for. Where do you want to start the cut from? Well, we want to start it from 0. And how much material do you want to take off? We want to take off 1 millimeter only. And indeed, if you want to take off less than that, you just come down so the tool is touching the material, and then use your D arrows in Mark 3 to fetch it off the material, whatever you desire to reduce this number. So what I'm saying is, if you come down and touch the material with the tool and you think, okay, well, I don't want to take 1 millimeter off, I want to take 0.5 millimeter off, well, you would 0 on the top of the material and then just raise the Z up 0.5 millimeters, 0.5 millimeter, and then re-zero the Z in the D arrows again. So when the machine starts, it will only take off 0.5 millimeter. So there's just a little quick tip. Okay, let's pick a tool. Bullnose, conical, nope. Let's see if we can. I'm not sure whether I have actually made that tool in here yet. End mill. Here we go. We'll call it an end mill. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a tool. So I'm going to select the 12 millimeter. Now to create another tool in this tooling list, all you need to do is come here and say copy, and then select that copy. Notice this made a copy here. Then edit. Okay, so it brings up a representation of a milling tool. I know that we're using a fly cutter, for whatever a better word. So we're going to give it some measurements now. 50.0 millimeters, which is roughly 2 inches. We're using millimeters as units. Let me see. Diameter. We're going to say 50. Step down, maximum step down. Now these figures now that I'm altering are going to appear as 500. But let's put that right, otherwise it would be a very, very big cutter. Step down. So these figures now that I'm altering will appear in the standard settings when you have chosen the tool. Step down, maximum. I will never ever probably want to go more than 2 millimeters deep. It's a large cutter. And with a 2.2 kilowatt, you know, they're very powerful. It would probably take 5 millimeters, but I don't like loading them up too much. Certainly not at 20,000 RPM. So, yeah, that 2 millimeters would probably be about my maximum. Funnel tool offset. I'm not going to touch that. Step over size. 20 millimeters would be fine. I like to, you know, not go sort of to 25 millimeters. It sort of works out better if you just go under 50%. Step over. So we're going to go 20 millimeters there. Spindle speed. I'm going to set this to 18,000, which I'll probably be running it at. Feed rate 42. That's pretty fair actually. Plunge rate 13. We'll go to 10 millimeters. I like to go nice and steady, and indeed I should be ramping down as well. I'll show you what ramping down is in a short while. So we're going to OK that, and we're going to select that. So now we can go in and just check to see what we have here. We don't want raster, I want an offset. I want to go into the middle of the material, and I want to go around and around and around. Actually, wrong way, that way. Climb, conventional. Climb milling is probably better. If you go conventional milling, you might get some material splinter out. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. Ramp moves. Add ramp moves. I pretty well take the recommended ramp moves. They're normally pretty good. Okay, now then let's revisit this. Step over 20 millimeters, step down. I'm going to alter that to 1. I don't want to go more than 1 millimeter. That's it. In this particular case, it's very hard wood. Feed rate 42 millimeters per second. I'll stay with that. 18,000 RPM. In actual fact, Mark III doesn't control my RPM. I control it myself on the VFD. Okay, material setup. Let's go 10 millimeters. Home position 0, 0, which is the center of the material. There again, this can be 10 millimeters. That'll be fine. Set up the work. Material thickness 25. And that's okay. I can leave it, although the other material, the thicker material is 45, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to go 50 millimeter tool. That's 1 millimeter cut down. And that's all. I'm going to leave it at that. I just need to put something in there that I recognize. I'm going to calculate now, and that's what it looks like. I needn't do anything else other than I'm going to save this to my desktop so I can load it into a removable drive, which I actually don't have with me at the moment. Yes, desktop. Here's another thing now. A lot of people ask me what to save the G code in, what type, because there are many different types. Now, I find that G code millimeter tap or G code inch tap files, in other words, are good all-rounders. Certainly for any type of CNC router, or mill for that matter. I don't seem to have any problem with this at all, so that's what I would recommend. I'm going to press so file name. Okay, file name. So I'm going to write this again. 50 millimeter, and it's tool millimeter cut, and we will save that. Okay, so there you are. That is using Carveco to do an actual machining operation. The next video will actually be me machining those lovely planks down to a nice smooth finish. So I hope you join me for the next video. And if you've liked this video, please, down there somewhere, well, down there, please like and subscribe, and don't forget, in the video description area you will find a discount code for any of the Carveco products. So until the next video, bye for now.